Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Justin Peters. I hope that you and your family are doing well today. I want to thank you so much for joining me for this podcast. And I'm doing this podcast to let you know why I've decided to monetize my YouTube channel. Up until and including this point, it has not been monetized. I plan on starting that process probably next week once I get back home from a upcoming preaching engagement I have in California. But I've decided to go ahead and monetize it. But let me first tell you why up until this point I've decided not to do that. I've resisted that. Many people have encouraged me to monetize my YouTube channel, and I've not done so for a couple of reasons. One, I knew that I would not have control over what kind of advertisements are shown on my YouTube channel. So obviously I didn't want to an ad to pop up for something with which I would strongly disagree. I wouldn't want an advertisement for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints to show up on one of my videos and give them free advertising. So that's one of the main reasons I've not done it. The other reason is that I did not want to open myself up to criticism. Justin just does his YouTube channel to make money. That has not stopped some people from criticizing me anyway. They think I do my YouTube channel for money, even though I have not made one red cent off of my YouTube channel. But at any rate, that's the other thing. Justin criticizes, and especially dealing with the nature of that for which I'm most well known, engaging the Word of Faith movement, the health and wealth, prosperity gospel. I didn't want people to say, Justin criticizes the prosperity gospel on YouTube, and yet here he is making money off of his YouTube channel. Well, a couple things about that. Number one, the great majority of my videos on my YouTube channel don't even deal with Word of Faith issues. Some do, but most of them don't. So it's I've kind of been theologically typecast in a certain sense. People think all I care about is Word of Faith or false prophets. It's not true. My first love is expository preaching. But anyway, it seemed to me to be too easy of a criticism that people would raise, and so I resisted it. So let me tell you now why I've decided to shift course and monetize my YouTube channel after all. All right, regarding the advertisements, as best I understand, and I've talked to people who are far more knowledgeable about this than am I, but they have said you have some control over the kind of advertisements that are put on your channel. To what degree, I'm not exactly sure at this point. But I've also been told by these folks who know more than I that the biggest determining factor in what kind of ads pop up on a YouTube video that you're watching, it depends largely on what kind of videos you tend to watch on YouTube. So if you watch a lot of, say if you're an outdoorsman and you watch a lot of hunting videos, chances are you'll probably get an advertisement for a Honda four-wheeler or something like that pop up. If you watch a lot of religious videos, you'll probably get some kind of religious advertising or something like that. So anyway, obviously I have no control over the kind of videos that you're watching at home. But anyway, to whatever degree I can, I will restrict what kind of advertisements pop up. The other thing dealing with the money, here's what many people have told me, is that YouTube is making money off of my YouTube channel, in any channel, but especially the ones that have at least some kind of a sizable following. YouTube's making money off of those channels regardless of whether or not my channel is monetized. YouTube is making money off of it. So why not have that money, instead of going to YouTube, why not have that money go to a worthy cause? And the people with whom I've spoken, they've encouraged me to do this. Of course, they're thinking my ministry, have that money go in to be a support to your ministry. So here, if they're going to make money anyway, may as well go to a good cause. But here's what I've decided to do in talking with my wife Kathy and in talking with the board of directors. Whatever money that my YouTube channel generates in a month, and honestly, I have absolutely no idea what to expect. I don't know if it's going to be $100, $500. I have no idea what's going to come in. But whatever it is, none of it is going to go to Justin Peters Ministries. None of it. 100% of it will go to either doctrinally sound ministries, doctrinally sound churches, or doctrinally sound missionaries. Churches, ministries, missionaries that I know that are out there doing the Lord's work. Maybe, for example, it's a church plant. It's a relatively young church. It's a good church led by good, biblically qualified men, but they're young and they're kind of struggling. Whatever money I make in a month for that particular month, I'll send it to them. Or a doctrinally sound ministry that I know, I will send it to them. Or a missionary, and I know some missionaries that are out there doing the Lord's work. One month I'll send it to them. So every month, in other words, every month it'll change. And in the description of my videos, I will put, for whatever month that is, whatever month it appears, I'll let you know in the description where that money's going to. Fair enough? So that's what I want to do. So that will alleviate, at least with any reasonably minded people, that will alleviate those concerns that I'm just doing this to enrich my own ministry. Not the case. Never been my motivation at all on any level. So since we're talking about finances a little bit, I thought I would take this opportunity to give you kind of a bird's eye view of my ministry and how it operates, because some of you have asked with varying degrees of sincerity, I must say. But at any rate, here's a bird's eye view. My ministry is a 501c3 nonprofit. So in other words, whatever money is donated to this ministry, it can be written off on your taxes. And I know some have criticized, they don't like the 501c3 because they think somehow if your ministry is a 501c3, it makes you beholden to the federal government. Friends, let me tell you, if the day ever comes, it probably will, but if the day ever comes where the federal government tells me you've got to change or alter in any way what you're teaching in order to keep your 501c3 nonprofit status, that is the day that Justin Peters Ministries ceases to be a nonprofit 501c3 ministry. I will not countenance that. So if it ever comes to that, then I'll lose my nonprofit status. So be it. But anyway, the nonprofit status is just a way to make it easier for people and be a little help to them who support the ministry, and make it, write that off on their tax, just like you would any church, the church that you go to, that I hope you go to. So anyway, that's one thing. My ministry is governed by a board of directors. I have 2 pastors and 1 deacon on my board of directors, so my entire board is 4 of us. I'm one of them, of course, but 3 others, and these are men that I know, that know me, who know me very, very well, and I have great respect for them, their character, and they oversee everything on the board, or everything financially related to the ministry. In other words, my board of directors sets my salary. I don't even, I don't have any part of that. The board of directors sets my salary, these other 3 men. And I can tell you, by the way, that it is a 5-figure salary. And by 5 figures, I don't mean it's $99,999. It's well south of 6 figures. So I'm not out there shopping for a private jet or a Rolls Royce or anything like that. So it is a modest salary, but I am grateful for what it is. Very grateful. The ministry, as I said, 501c3. So it is supported by a few things. When I go to a church, some churches give me a love offering. Some churches do an honorarium. Of course, that goes straight into the ministry. It does not go into my pocket. It goes right back into the ministry. I have, however, a policy. This is my philosophy of ministry. Whenever I get an invitation to go to a church and preach, and I've been, I think, in 46, maybe 47, 46 states, 46 out of the 50 states. So I've preached in 46 out of 50 states. I've preached in 27 different countries, many of those countries multiple times, 27 different countries. Whenever I get an invitation to preach, my philosophy is this: first come, first serve. whoever invites me to come, I will go. I do not base my decisions on which invitations I accept. I do not base those decisions on the size of the church, on how much or how little money the church has. That does not factor into my calculus at all. Basically, as long as it will fit into my schedule, I will go. And you can ask any pastor who has had me come into his church and preach. I don't inquire about money. I do not have a minimum set fee to come and preach. I don't say, okay, I'll come if you'll guarantee me X number of dollars. I don't do that. I know some do, but that's not me. I don't do that. So I don't even ask about what the church will do. Most of the time, pastors will ask me, what do you need from us? What do you require? And I'll say, I don't require anything other than if you'll take care of my travel expenses and a place to stay while I'm with you and your folks. That's all I really ask for. So anything other than that, I completely leave it up to the church. I don't even inquire about it. But for my overseas trips, my international trips, many of those trips are to poor countries. Many of them are to third world countries. And for those kinds of trips, I do that at the ministry's own expense. I do not charge them for anything. If I'm going to a third world country where it's going to be harder for me to get around, just the logistics of it, the state of the infrastructure there, and if I'm going to be in some pretty rundown hotels, which I've been in, I've been in my fair share of those. But anyway, if it's going to be a difficult trip for me physically, I will usually take someone with me to go and help me. And so all of those expenses, my ticket, his ticket, hotel, motel, whatever we can find, food, all of that stuff. Maybe we have to rent out an area to set up for a pastor's conference. We have to rent out a town square or something like that, or some venue. All of that is taken care of by my ministry. I do not charge those precious folks anything at all. So if you think about all that goes into an international trip, most of my international trips are 1 to 2 weeks. 1 week is really on the short end, but 1 to 2 weeks. And so that is multiple thousands of dollars. And so I do have some people who support my ministry on a monthly basis, which is a huge help. And it enables me to do these kinds of trips. If it were not for support from some like-minded believers, I could not do these kinds of things. So that enables me to do what I'm doing. And of course, all the other expenses that go along with the ministry, equipment that I need to do these YouTube videos, stuff like that, resources that I need, research, going to Benny Hinn crusades from time to time, Kenneth Copeland stuff, kind of theological field trips, I guess you could say. I go to these things and do research and talk to people and get into the trenches and talk to them because I want to do that. So anyway, all the people who support my ministry, that goes and funds all of this stuff. So I also have a policy dealing with my resources that I sell DVDs, flash drives of a lot of my teaching, have some t-shirts, bumper stickers, a book I've written, some books that Jim Osmond's written. I also sell them. So I have, if you go to my website in the store, I have a number of resources there. I do sell those, and some people have criticized me for selling those. You should give away all your stuff. And my response is, okay, well, if you'll pay for them all, if you'll pay to have them all reproduced, edited, multiple thousands of copies made, if you want to do all that, sure, I'll give everything away for free. But these things don't make themselves. They do cost to produce, and so I do sell them. I think the prices are very reasonable, but I do sell them. But I also have a policy: if anyone needs my resources and cannot afford them, then I give them away. And any one of you who is watching, if you've seen me teach in person, I say this: bring my resources with me. I say, if you cannot afford them, don't let the cost be prohibitive to you. I want people to be equipped. So anyway, that's kind of a bird's eye view of my ministry. how I do what I do, my philosophy of it, how I choose where to go. Basically, if it fits into my calendar, I go, and the finances. So I hope this helps some. I hope it explains to you why you might be seeing some advertisements on my videos in the future. Okay? Does that cover everything? I guess it does. All right. Well, thank you very much, dear ones. Until our next time together, may the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ, the love of God, and the fellowship of His Holy Spirit be with you all.